guys, welcome back to the dark side of the internet. Today, we're doing something every horror fan has been waiting for. We're taking a look back at the most iconic and haunting creepypastas that define this genre. Thank you so much for your love and for sticking with me. Let's take a moment to shout out our friends. I love you guys so much. You are my huge motivation. Sending you 100,000 kisses. Before we jump into the main topic, please remember to like and subscribe. I'll protect you.
1. Jeff the Killer.
They found Jeff the Killer.
Wait. Is that someone? Dude, he's like, yo, oh my god! Yo, that's Jeff the Killer! Yo, that's Jeff the Killer! Oh my god, what the heck? Oh my god! Dude, what the heck? Dude, what the hell? Look at his face! Look at his face, dude! See how he's moving? Dude, he's like crawling and everything! What the hell? Dude, he's like digging into the wood with his hands! Dude, that's literally Jeff the Killer! His hands were literally bleeding! Oh my god, so he didn't leave, he is here! He's coming! Just focus, dude! Wait, no, he just seen the drone! I think he just seen the drone! What the heck? Dude, that's him! Look at his face! Look at his face and his black hair and his paleness! Like everything! Oh my god, look, he has blood all over him too! Like all over his suit! Dude, make sure there's no one else around! Yeah. Go hide, dude! Dude, look how he's moving! I don't think he's possible, John. What do you think he's going to do? He's already seen us now.
This is Jeff, the strange creature with a smile slashed all the way to his ears. And he's associated with a very horrifying story. This character is super famous in the creepypasta community. You know him, right? If you don't, Cloud Shark is here to tell you about him.
We've probably all seen this picture before. I'm not leaving it there because I don't like to look at it, but it's from a creepypasta story called Jeff the Killer. In the story, a 13-year-old boy named Jeff and his brother moved to a new town. At their new school, they encounter these 3 bullies. The 3 kids threaten them with knives, and then Jeff gets into a fight with them. The police are called, and his brother Louis takes the blame for the assault. Jeff feels horribly guilty for his brother taking the blame for him, but he soon runs into the 3 bullies again. This time, they burn his face with alcohol and bleach. This leaves Jeff's face horribly disfigured and his skin bleached white. And it pretty much triggers a psychotic break. The doctors say that Jeff's behavior is just because of the painkillers that he's on, and they discharge him. When Jeff gets home, he decides to disfigure his already extremely disfigured face some more by cutting a permanent smile into his cheeks. His mother walks in on him doing this, and she goes to tell his father that there's something wrong with him. He overhears their conversation and he murders them both. Then he goes to murder his brother Louis, telling him to go to sleep before he stabs him. This would end up being Jeff's catchphrase as he goes on a serial killing rampage, killing those who refuse to sleep at night.
Basically, I think he's still just a human, and I don't know if he's alive and lurking in someone's basement. Do you know? By the way, even though he looks ugly and bizarre, a lot of people idolize him and think that look is cool. Don't do that. You should appreciate your own face. Why idolize a murderer? Instead, you can like and subscribe to my video. Thank you.
2. Smiledog.jpg.
If you type the phrase smiledog.jpg on the internet, you will find a dog that is smiling, but it's not normal. I mean, it's not cute at all. I'll show it here, so you guys stop looking it up on Google. The story about it goes like this.
Do you know the cursed story behind Smile Dog? In the early 2000s, people on internet forums spoke about an image file called smile.jpg. They said anyone who looked at it would see a demonic dog with a human-like smile. And once you saw it, you could never unsee it. One woman who opened the file claims she began having nightmares every night. The dog would appear in her dreams, standing in the darkness, whispering words she could not understand. She tried to warn others. She begged people not to search the image. But eventually, the nightmares drove her insane, and she took her own life. After her death, people online said the cursed file kept circulating, randomly appearing on old forums, corrupted downloads, and abandoned email chains. Some even claim the dog shows up in the corner of your vision before sleep. So if you ever stumble across a strange file named SmileJPG, do yourself a favor. Don't open it, because once you see that smile, it will follow you forever.
Is this some kind of hacked file, or is it a cursed photo? Ultimately, you shouldn't delve too deeply into the truth. Don't worry, I'll protect you.
3. Red Mist.
Red Mist, also known as unalive Squidwards. Can you believe that a cartoon like SpongeBob could hide such a dark and morbid tragedy? The story begins with a Nickelodeon intern who was tasked with reviewing an unfinished episode.
Explaining famous creepypastas. Part 2. Red Mist. Video at the end. Red Mist, also known as unalived Squidwards, first appeared online in the early 2010s. The story goes that a Nickelodeon intern was asked to review an unfinished SpongeBob episode. The file was called squidwardunaliving.avi. At first, everything looked normal. Squidward was practicing his clarinet, then getting ready for a big recital. He walked on stage, sat down, and started playing. But then things took a dark turn. The audience began booing loudly, their faces twisted with anger. Squidward looked more and more hopeless. The background turned darker, the sounds distorted, and then Squidward's eyes changed. His pupils became hyper-realistic, red, and lifelike. Nothing like the cartoon style. From there, the episode began flashing real photographs of crime scenes and bodies, disturbing stills spliced into the footage for just a second at a time. Squidward buried his face in his hands and began crying. His sobbing grew louder, more realistic, until he finally reached for a shotgun. The episode ends with Squidward pointing it at his head and the screen goes to black. The debates of the validity of the episode have always been there. But the description alone was so detailed that fans began recreating it online, and it quickly became one of the most well-known lost episode legends ever written. So now that you know the story, let me show you what one of those recreations actually looks like.
That is the original story of Red Mist, a creepypasta that has haunted an entire generation of SpongeBob fans. Although the truth about the original episode is always debated, its detailed description has inspired countless fans to recreate it.
4. Dead Bart.
If in the previous part we talked about Squidward, today, we move on to another terrifying cartoon legend, which is the story of Dead Bart. This creepypasta claims that, right from the very first season, The Simpsons creator, Matt Groening, made a secret episode.
Explaining famous creepypastas. Part 3. Dead Bart. Video at the end. This story is known as Dead Bart, and it first appeared online in the early 2010s. The creepypasta claimed that Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, had made a secret episode during the show's very first season. According to the legend, Groening wanted death in the show to look more real than life, which is why Bart's body in the episode was drawn in hyper-realistic detail. On the tape, the episode begins like normal. The Simpsons are getting ready to go on a trip, and Bart is misbehaving on the plane. But then something shocking happens. Bart breaks a window mid-flight, gets sucked out, and the camera shows him falling to his death. What follows is a montage of the family sitting at the table, completely silent, motionless, with no music or sound effects. This goes on for several minutes. Eventually, the episode jumps forward to the characters standing in a graveyard. One by one, the camera shows each grave with the names of every single Simpsons character, even ones who hadn't died yet in the real show. The story claimed that Fox ordered the episode to be locked away, and that the only leaked copy was corrupted and horrifying to watch. Fans later made recreations of Dead Bart, editing Simpsons footage to match the creepypasta, and even the fakes are enough to give people goosebumps. So now that you know the full story, let me show you what one of those recreations actually looks like.
Sir, it is not safe to use electronic devices yet.
You're the...
Although the original episode is said to be locked away by Fox forever, The fan recreations are enough to be genuinely haunting. Luckily, it's just a cartoon and doesn't affect us.
5. Slenderman.
We all know about Slender Man, right? He's too famous in the creepypasta world. A man who is terrifyingly tall, with long limbs, who can disguise himself as anyone.
This is a true story. In 1914, outside a quiet town in Missouri, a tall figure was seen watching from the tree line just after midnight. Locals called it the Hollow Watcher because it never moved. It only stared, motionless, even if you screamed. One night, 3 children followed the figure into the woods, but they were never seen again. After that night, the city was gripped with fear, but within months, the creature was forgotten like it was never there. Nearly a century passed. Then in 2007, a hunter's trail cameraman spotted something impossible. The creature had returned. After that, more footage began to appear online. Brief glimpses of something tall lurking in schools, alleys, parks. Some said it only appeared after you started thinking about it. The more you feared it, the closer it came. A girl in Montana claimed she saw it every night at exactly 3:07 a.m., always in the same place, just watching. Police investigated, but nothing was ever caught on film unless the person was alone. In 2011, a boy disappeared after filming something behind his house in West Virginia. The last frame of the video showed this creature. Those who claim to survive sightings often describe waking up weeks later in strange places with no memory. To this day, in the deepest parts of forests across America, people still claim to see a figure watching them, always standing still in silence.
What will he do if he catches his prey? Kill them? Break their neck? Keep them as a pet? Or, worst of all, turn them into another Slender Man? What do you think? Comment and let me know, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I will protect you.
6. Laughing Jack.
This creature looks more handsome than Jeff the Killer, don't you think? And here is his story.
Laughing Jack is a fictional horror character created in 2011 by user Snuffbomb on the Creepypasta wiki. Originally introduced through a short story titled The Origin of Laughing Jack, the character is portrayed as a sinister monochrome clown with long limbs, a distorted grin, and a malevolent nature masked by childlike whimsy. He is described as an imaginary friend turned monstrous, a once colorful companion who becomes increasingly dark as the child he was assigned to grows more corrupted. The narrative follows Laughing Jack as he attaches himself to a young boy, initially appearing friendly, before descending into increasingly violent and sadistic behavior. Eventually, he reveals his true form, an emotionless killer who mutilates his victims and takes pleasure in psychological torment. The story ends with the boy's mother framed for her son's gruesome death, left unable to prove that the horror she witnessed was real. Laughing Jack's popularity grew rapidly, bolstered by fan art, cosplay, and character expansions that positioned him among the pantheon of internet horror icons. Visually and thematically, he blends familiar fears, clowns, childhood innocence, and unseen evil, with the psychological unease of betrayal and loss. As a myth, Laughing Jack embodies the transformation of joy into terror. He reflects anxieties around childhood imagination and the breakdown of trust in once safe spaces. His laughter, once playful, becomes a signal of danger, a reminder that even imagined friends can harbor darkness.
7. Candle Cove.
Do you ever believe in collective memory? Candle Cove is said to be an extremely bizarre children's show that only a small group of adults remembers. The characters are puppets, including a pirate named Skin Taker who always talks about stealing children's skin. But the most horrifying thing is not the characters, but the truth behind the show.
Let's talk about Candle Cove. Candle Cove was a supposed children's show that only a small group of people remember. It featured strange puppet characters, including a pirate called Skin Taker, who talked about stealing children's skin. One person recalled the final episode, where the children on screen just stood there screaming. No music, no dialogue, just endless screaming. But when they asked their parents about the show, they replied, "What show?" They just sat in front of the TV, watching static. So if Candle Cove never existed, why do so many people remember the same eerie details?
This raises an extremely terrifying question. Are we all sharing a nightmare together? Or is there some force trying to communicate with us through the static of old TVs? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow so I can keep protecting you from these creepy mysteries. Thanks for watching, my dear friends. See you in the next video. Bye.